Mhm.
But just so kind of a little explanation of what you can expect to see today. This is a little bit of a teaser class for my BodyMind Barre class. So this class has been run in 90-minute versions as well as 60-minute versions. So what we're doing is a super condensed 30-minute version. And we're going to kind of see how it goes. So let's go from there. And because of audio kind of limitations here, I don't have music in the background. Normally we do have some music to guide our pace. So I'll just kind of be going at my own pace. Keep up however you can. If you want to have music on in the background, as long as your speaker is on, that's cool. And then, as always, if anything doesn't feel good as you're doing it, you can always modify it to something that you know that you can do. Again, I don't have you ladies on video right now, so I cannot see you. So just, be careful. If anything doesn't feel good, don't do it. As we get to the more intense stuff, I'll kind of go in progressions. And if the progression I go to doesn't feel good, just stay back at the one previous to that. All right, here we go. Hope you enjoy.
Yay.
All right, so I'm a little bit further back from my camera now. I hope you can still hear me okay. So we're going to start in first position. Hands can be either on the hips if you want to do kind of a low fifth position, wherever is comfortable for today is totally cool. We're going to start with gentle demi-plies, pressing through the heels of your feet, softening through the knees, getting that stretch through the calf and the ankle, and then returning back to standing. Bending, demi-plie, and standing. Make sure you're pulling the belly button in towards the navel, and you're also lengthening the tailbone, which sometimes I might say tucking the tailbone, which kind of is a downward shift of your pelvis. I'll go from the side, kind of this kind of a position, just to remain a neutral spine. We don't want a little duck butt, but we also don't want an old lady butt. So just kind of lengthening spine, both front and back. Getting the bottom of the half of body warmed up. 3 and 2 and 1 more. We're going to open up to second position, so just a gentle second position. Heels are at about shoulder distance apart, and arms can come out to the side here. We can come down with the arms and then up to center. Down with the arms, up to center. Make sure you're breathing in and out through your nose. Just getting the body warmed up here, kind of go within your own range of motion. Make sure the weight's still falling through the heels. Make sure you're opening the knees gently to your hip flexibility. Your knees should be in line with your toes. And as we're warming up, we'll get a little bit deeper. So coming down a little bit more, reaching all the way up with the arms to the top. All the way down, all the way up. Squeezing the glutes as you lift up. 3, 2, and 1. And now we're moving into fifth position. You're going to bring the legs closer together. Your one foot is going to come in front of the other heel to toe. If that position is not comfortable, you can do heel to the center of the foot. So whichever version is more comfortable. For right now, it doesn't even matter which leg is in front. Hands can be on the hips for now. Again, demi-plie and squeeze. Demi-plie and squeeze. So this one, you might feel a little bit more of a stretch through the hips as you come up to the standing position. You'll also feel a more intense stretch through the ankle and the heel and the back of the foot. In the back foot, I should say. One more. And switching, the back foot comes to the front. And we demi-plie. Down and stretch. Down and stretch. Again, activating the belly, pulling it into the spine, lengthening through down through the tailbone. 2, and 1. Okay, coming back to first position. We're going to take the arms out to the side. We're going to slowly drop one arm down to the side, lifting the other arm up overhead, kind of off camera. So the other arm's just straight up overhead. Lifting, lengthening through the body, keeping the side with the arm down long. Gentle side stretch. So we're lengthening the top side of our body, but not collapsing into the bottom side. We're still keeping that side long. Gentle breathing. And switching sides, the other arm comes down, sweeping the other arm up and over. And taking both arms out to the side, a gentle fold forward, keeping the back nice and straight. Wherever you can get to, make sure the hands are supporting your body somewhere. So if you're only about halfway, you're going to support the hands above or below the knee. If you have the flexibility to come all the way down to the floor, let the head relax. That's great too. Deep breaths here, stretching through the hamstrings, getting the lower back to stretch out. Gently rolling on up. And then we're going to come back into that fifth position. So one foot is in front, one foot is in back. We're going to stretch up and over to one side again. And other side. And a gentle forward fold. Rolling on up. And changing feet. Last time, big stretch up and over to one side. And to the other side. And a gentle forward fold. Rolling on up. And coming into first position. All right, we're going to move into our first exercise, which is a series of tendus. Tendu is a simple movement where you're sliding your foot out, sliding it on back from the side. Again, you're sliding out, full extension through the leg as long as you can stretch. Just your big toe touches the floor, and then sliding back in. Imagine like you have a paper plate under your foot that you're sliding in and out. Arms can come out to the side, shoulders are pulled down, hearts lifted up, strong arms, but yet they are soft. I don't want you to be, tense in your arms. So relaxing through the arms, strong shoulders. We're going to start with the leg extending forward, back to first position. 2, 3, 4. We're going to go for 8. Press through that standing leg strongly, putting space in that hip. And now that same leg to the side. Out and out. Keeping strong through the abdominals here, lengthening the spine. Last one to the back. Squeeze the glute and pull back in. So squeeze that glute cheek. Two, and 1 to the side again. Out and pull. Out and squeeze. 2, and 1. We'll take a little plie as we change sides. So now the other leg stretches to the front for 8. And to the side, out and stretch. Keeping that firm stretch in your hips. So if you notice there's no aftershock in the body, body's staying nice and strong against the movement of the leg. 2, 1 to the back, squeeze the cheek, That glute is in charge here. And to the side again. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gentle plie. Beautiful. For the next series, I'm going to turn to the side. So whichever side it makes sense for you to think of. I'm not using right and left right now, just so I don't confuse anyone. So however it makes sense for you. We're going to go into a rond de jambe. So a rond de jambe starts with a tendu, circles all the way around, and then sweeps through the center. So it's kind of like you're tracing a capital letter D, that kind of a shape, okay? Arms, again, are always going to be held out to the side, so we strengthen our shoulders and our back. If they get tired, you can always come down to the hips. That's totally up to you, right? So turning to the side, we're beginning. Tendu front, circling all the way around, rond de jambe. Sweep through, circle, sweep through. Now, ideally, you're pushing through your supporting leg so much, creating so much length that this leg can stay straight as you swing through. That's the ideal situation. It doesn't always happen at first, so give it time. Really focusing on the hips here. The glute is pulling that leg around. One more. And now we're going to pause in the center, start it to the back. So we tendu back, circle around to the front. So now the abdominals and the hip flexor are more in charge of pulling that leg as you circle it around. One more. A gentle plie. I'm going to spin around. If you have to spin around, if you don't have to spin around, wherever you are is fine. And the other side we begin. Other leg stretches forward, circle around. Stretch forward, circle around. Keeping the abdominal strong so there's not this kind of a moving action in your body. You want to stay nice and strong through the abs. Last one. And pause in the center, start to the back. Out and around. Woo, and around. Out and around. Pressing through the bottom heel of the foot. Staying lengthened through that hip. Last one. And plie. Coming back to the center. If you're fine on the surface that you are on and you're not slipping at all, that's great. You can stay there. If you'd rather have a yoga mat for either cushion or stickiness for this next exercise, that's totally up to you. So whatever is best for your own personal space that you're working in. So we're going to start in that second position that we did way in the beginning in our warm-up. Arms are going to be out to the side. Now that we're a little warm, we're going to take those plies nice and deep. So all the way down, all the way up. This is our leg strengthening series. So really pressing into those heels, using those glutes to fire up and stand up strong. Three, and 2, and 1. We begin alternating. So you're going to plie, come to center, out, and center. So we're taking a nice big step out to the side, working individual legs a little bit. So each time I stand up, that supporting leg is doing more work. Two, and 1. Now we stay on one side. We're going to come into plie, Catch the balance. Catch the balance. So we're coming up into a passe type position, springing that leg up to touch the knee, using the abdominals to balance, pushing strongly into that supporting leg. Two more. Last one, and we switch sides. Out and catch. Out and catch. Two more. And a little plie here. I like to rest my hands on my knees, give a little push, stretch out the glutes a little bit, stretch out the calves and the ankles. Now we're gonna come down onto the floor. So if you do have a yoga mat at this time, now is the time to use it. My cat is sitting on mine, so we're gonna see how this works. I know, sorry, I'm stealing your mat. All right, and then I can do this so you can see me a little bit better. All right, I might get attacked by my cat at this point, so we're gonna see how this goes. So coming down to a lying position on your back, hands behind your head. We're gonna do basic crunches. So your feet are planted on the floor, close to your hips. Exhaling each time as you lift into the crunch activates all layers of the abdominals. So that's what we wanna do. So lengthening the spine, elbows stay wide. We exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Make sure you're exhaling each time you lift, inhaling on the way back down. Now we're gonna play with the tempo a little bit. We're gonna come up in 2 counts, down in 2 counts. So we're slowing it down, kind of half timing it, forcing the abs to hold on just a little bit longer. I hear you, thank you. Two more, up, up, down, down. And now we're gonna hold at the top. We lift, 2, 3, lower down. Lift, 2, 3, lower down. So we're lifting and holding, 2, 3, lower down. See if you can make the exhale last the whole time you're lifting and exhale, lower down. 2, last one, and rest. Lengthening the arms up overhead, feet can stretch out. Hello. We're gonna bring the legs back into that same position. We're gonna go into a hip bridge here. So heels again are close. Make sure you're pushing through the heels of the feet. You don't wanna shift forward into the toes. You want those heels planted down. And imagine as if you're trying to pull your glutes towards your heels. So there's an active pull through your hamstrings as opposed to pushing yourself along your mat, okay? Here we're gonna, with that whole position held, we're gonna press through our heels, lifting the hips as high as is comfortable. If you have the flexibility and you can feel a nice stretch in the tops of those hips, that's awesome. So we're exhaling as we lift, inhaling as we come down. Hands can rest down by your sides. They can rest out to the side in a T formation for a little bit more stability. You can rest your hands on your hips to make sure you're staying nice and level. Lots of freedom in the hand position here. 2, and 1. Now we're gonna lift that right leg up in the air. You can flex or point the toe, whatever feels good for you. Single leg. We're gonna press and lower down. Press and lower down. So that top foot's trying to kick the ceiling. From here, take that leg, externally rotate it and cross the ankle over the knee, kind of like a figure 4 cross-legged position. Holding that frame, continuing. So this, you might feel an intense stretch in the hip flexor. That's a good thing, but again, go at your own pace. If it doesn't feel good, stay with the one that we did previously. Last one, unwrap the legs, left leg extends up, and we press. 8, and cross the leg over, press. 2 more. And relax down, unwrap the legs. Bring both knees in towards the spine. You can do a little side-to-side rock and roll action. And then gently come on up to sitting. We're going to do a nice stretch to end class. But before we begin in our stretch, I just want to explain a little bit of the series that we did. I chose to do abs and glutes kind of in synchronicity with each other, because with the extended amount of sitting that we most likely are doing with this situation, our abs tend to get weak, our glutes tend to get weak, and as a result, our hip flexors tend to get tight. So by strengthening the abs, stretching the hip flexors, and working those glutes, we can kind of realign that posture and not allow that extra sitting to affect us too negatively. So that's the thought process behind that, if you were wondering. So we're going to start with a nice open second position with the legs. Again, however far you can get that's comfortable. Make sure you are sitting on your sits bones, that you're not curled back in your hips at all. We're going to lengthen the one arm up, side stretch on over. And inhale as you come on up. Exhaling up and over to the other side. Inhaling as you come up. And exhaling down to the center, wherever is comfortable for you. Getting that stretch through the inner thighs, the groin. Opening up those hips, which we are probably not doing while we're sitting this much. Inhaling as you come up. Exhaling, arms come up. We turn towards the leg and stretch on over. Never underestimate the power of stretching. Keeps our bodies young, nimble, agile, all sorts of good stuff. And coming on up, turning to face the other side, stretching forward. And coming on up, back to the center one more time. Let those hips open up, deep stretch. Coming on up, bending both legs, bringing the feet together, soles of the feet touch. We're gonna hold on to our feet, pulling our chest up nice and tall. Keeping the spine nice and straight, gently start to tilt forward. Pressing those knees down with the elbows if that feels good. Releasing back up, extending the legs out in front, lifting all the way up, stretch tall, and fold forward. Kind of walking those hips back if needed. Allow the spine to continue to lengthen as if you're trying to touch your forehead down to your toes. Gently pulling the heart forward as you stretch, lengthening the spine. And then change the position of the feet to be flexed, so you get that stretch through the calf muscles. And release on out. We're going to take one leg bending in, the other leg you're going to tuck behind your body, so your foot and your knee are kind of connected in the front. We're going to focus in on the back leg, the quadricep of the back leg. So you're going to lean back in line with that quad, engage the glutes, so you're almost pushing your hip up towards the ceiling, and just get a nice stretch through that. If you are on the more flexible side, this might not feel like much, but we're just going to stay here for today. I'll do more progressive stretches as we get more in depth with this. If you are tight in the quads though, you might feel this. Might feel good. And releasing on out. Switch legs over to the other side. Leaning back in line with that leg so you create one long line from knee up to shoulder. Engage the glute, press that hip up towards the ceiling. And releasing. Coming just to a simple cross-legged position. You're going to place one hand on the floor, sweep the arm up. We're going to do a nice side stretch over. Keep that spine young and flexible. Inhale, up and over to the other side. Coming up on the inhale. Taking that other arm back up, we're going to turn, leaning over that knee. So slight diagonal stretch. Coming up on the inhale, folding forward on the exhale. Coming up on the inhale, we're gonna, whichever leg is in front, you're just gonna switch, put the opposite foot in front, and repeat. Up and over to one side. Coming up on the inhale, other side. Up on the inhale, take it on the diagonal. And up, other side. And up. And once just down to the center. Gently rolling on up. And breathing. That is our class for the day. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me. I hope you had a good time. I hope you got a little bit sweaty, got a good workout in this quick little teaser class. So thank you again. I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, be well, stay healthy, and hopefully I will see you soon.